He's back. He's back, baby. He's already back, and he's spectacular. I'll tell you that right now. Kyren Williams looking superb on the practice field. I'll show you a little video clip in a second on my phone. I'll hold it up to the camera. Kyren's out there cutting, running, looking as speedy as ever. And all the doubters out there that drove him into the third, and really we heard fourth round today. God, it sucks that he's back today though. There's footage of him being out there like a monster, just looking like a total monster. It sucks that this happened right now in a way because he fell to round 4 today. But he's going back into round 3. I don't know if he climbs into 2. The hype around the injury proneness of the guy and the Blake Corum rise that everyone thinks is underway, that he's going to take his job or even take remotely close to something like 40% of the work, which is not going to happen. McVay doesn't roll that way. I think he's not climbing out of round 3. I think he stays in round 3. But I'm plenty happy taking Kyren in round 3. Kyren wins you leagues in round 3. We'll be drafting tonight after we talk about this, take some phone calls. But right now we're relishing in the man that is Kyren Williams as he takes us to the promised land in 2024. Do it live. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
I mean, we wonder what's really going to happen with his value, right? And then, literally, I'm not even cherry picking. The most recent 2 messages that I can drag onto my screen right now are these 2. I mean, I don't know what to expect. I can't really tell what the landscape's going to be. Brandon says, "Is Kyren a sell or a hold? Let me know." Here, I'll let you know. This is my answer. The other question or the other comment is Corum might be a TD vulture. That's even worse.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
Warning.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Look, I love both of you, Braden. Don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, how would you even ask me that question? I don't even understand, like, what would make you even pose that question, given what you see in front of you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this the same thing when I asked Miss Smitty, is the roast beef good in the fridge? And she goes, look at the expiration date. And I say, it says it's good for another couple days. Okay. And then she walks away, and I follow her into the other room, and I say, so is it good? Can I eat it? And she goes, hey, moron, didn't you just read the expiration date and it said that it was good? Do you want me to physically say it? Like, Braden, what would make you think I would not tell you to hold? I don't even understand that. And Ricolas Cage, what is wrong, bro? What are you talking about? Little Blake Corum's going to vulture from the best scoring running back in the National Football League, the guy that could have more rushing touchdowns than anybody in the National Football League on the ground in 2024, more than Christian McCaffrey, more than anybody on the ground, the guy that had 15 touchdowns in 12 games, the guy that had 12 rushing touchdowns in 12 games from a guy like McVay who uses 1 RB. Come on, bro. Both your Bijan cards are taken away.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Times 2, okay? Times 2. It's nuts, to be honest. I don't even know what to say at this point. All right, here's Kyren Williams, just out there cutting. Look at him. Oh, does that look like a guy has a sore foot? I don't think so. Look at this man. Cut, strong. Boom, hit. Yeah, baby. He's back. Yeah, but based on these two comments, like literally, I come back from the intro, and the two most available comments to drag on screen were both negative. I don't know if you guys have seen this video.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
I just watched Kyren's highlights, and I'm not impressed. Well, I mean, bro, it's okay. It's your first year. I mean, I assume. So you'll pick it up, bro. Just keep playing. Don't give up on it yet. I know it seems overwhelming, but just keep watching. Keep watching. Dial into the show if anybody has a Kyren Williams question, concern, premonition, excitement, commentary of sorts. I'll be here at your disposal, and then we're going to jump into a draft in a second on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. Punch that link that's in the description, but I'm also going to drop it in the live chat. Hit this link right now and get prepared, because we'll be jumping into a superflex puppy $5 draft. They'll match your first deposit they'll match your first deposit 50% up to $250. So if you did the minimum $10, they'll give you $5, and you could do literally 5 puppy drafts at that $10. Superfish says the whole reason Kyren is on the field is because he's consistently getting the ball in the end zone. I know. It's probably one of the craziest. I mean, it's solely rooted in they missed out on Kyren last year. They feel ashamed. Anybody that hates Kyren or says something like Corum's taking his carries, his job, his touchdowns, they literally feel so bad. I'm sorry, Rickolas. I don't mean to throw you under the bus here, but you literally are so upset about last year and how it worked out, and you just want to be so right about it that you're going to keep digging the hole. And just so that if it did come crashing down, you could go, see, I wasn't crazy last year. I feel much better about myself walking into this year. It's unbelievable. And I know Speed's clowning, because there's either he's just learning football right now, which might be the case. Like, maybe we take it easy on him. But if Speed's serious, or if he's watched football before, then he's joking, because there's no way. There's no way anybody could watch Kyren Williams footage and be like, this guy looks like he's slow. like look at this one more time. Look at this one more time. Just take a gander at this man on the field right now. Hold on one second. Let me rewind it and go to the top. Look at this man. Look at him. Look at his footwork. He's so quick. He's so shifty. The hardest runner between the tackles in the National Football League by far. That's why a lot of people are worried about him getting hurt, because he takes things so he's so aggressive with his own body, like Pacheco. It's a downside. There is a downside. There's a reason we have this board, and if he ever goes down, there's no, oh, I told you, Smitty. No, it's we told you. We told you. The number one most important cuff in all of fantasy football is Corum and Kyren. It's not so much to do with this guy. Corum's good. He's not great. He's good. In McVay's system, any good player is going to be great. Kyren's great, and any great player is going to be elite. So Kyren's elite, top 1. Now, I didn't say top 5. I'm not stuttering. There's no equivocation here. There's no hesitation. Do you hear me stuttering at all about this? Kyren Williams is 1 to 5. Not top 5. Not top 5 to 7. Not top 5 to 10. He is running back 1 to 5. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. If you don't like that, you don't understand me. He's 1 to 5. Blake Corum in that lineup is a 6 to 12 running back, which is fantastic. And it's a supplement, right? A supplemental move. If Kyren goes down because he runs like Pacheco runs like Kyren. If Kyren goes down, Corum is a top 6 to 12 running back for as many games as he plays. And you add that to Kyren's, let's say he plays 14 games, then you have the running back 1, 2, or 3 overall. It is the most secure and important handcuff in fantasy. It gives you a locked and loaded top 5 running back, sum total 17 starts using one of them at a time. You get a top maybe 3 running back lock, and you have the most rushing touchdowns in the National Football League with this combo right here, and not even having to use both of them ever, just in a rotational sort of way. And in best ball, good Lord, yeah, it's just as important to get them in any format. But Kyren to the moon. Thank you, Superfish, for the super chat. And we're going to get into a super flex here in a second. Everybody click on, again, the link is right here. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Hit the link right now. I'm going to pin the link in the live chat. Everybody click on the puppy. Let me pin the link. Click on the puppy super flex right this very second and jump into that bad boy. I'm going to do so right this very second. And hopefully we all get into one together. If we don't worry. Don't fret. Don't be upset. Don't get mad. We'll all be drafting together very soon. And just use the process alongside of what I'm telling you and what you're telling me and what we're talking about on the phone. You guys have great ideas as well. Jump into that Superflex puppy draft. And while we wait for that bad boy to load, I think I have John on the phone. John, I swear, I'm putting my finger on the button again. Go ahead, John.
Hey, I had a question about Devontae Adams.
Okay.
Am I allowed to ask that question?
Yeah. You're allowed to do whatever you want, John. Don't think that I have any. Like, you could say whatever. It's a free country, but it doesn't mean I won't hang up on you. But I'm not going to hang up on you for asking a Devontae Adams question. I was going to hang up on you if your sole purpose was to come in and try and, you don't ever, no offense, John, but you don't ever do it, but you try and flip upside down what I'm talking about. So you can't do it, but I'm just saying you try. And for that reason, I got my finger on the button because, look, we don't need you to crush the Kyren vibe right now. I got the shirt on and everything. Go ahead, John. Devontae Adams.
Hey, do you think Devontae Adams is going to regress even more? In 2022, he had 14 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. In 23, he had 8 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. I know Minshew's there. I don't really know all that much about O'Connell or the other QB. Are you fading him? Are you drafting him? Or are you going to other players that are going around him?
Ziggy, how old is Devontae Adams? Let's see when his birthday is.
Devontae Adams is 31 years old.
December. Ziggy off. 32 is a hard sell, bro, or a hard. That's a tall order. That's a really tall order, bro. All right, the draft. Hold on one second. Let me answer it in detail in a second. Let me put the draft board up on screen so we can all discuss this draft. We're jumping in again into this Superflex puppy draft. We've got recognizable faces. Mikey V, DJ Speedy's in here, and I assume that's Speedy from the chat that says he watched Kyren footage. Speedy, is that you? God, come on, bro. This is the worst take. That's the worst take. Where is that take? Let me find that take. Yeah, that's got to go on the board. Hold on one second. That's got to go on the worst, one of the worst takes in the history of the show. Speed. I don't know if that's DJ Speedy. It's got to be. It says, I just watched Kyren footage. Here it is. I just watched Kyren's highlights, and I'm not impressed. He isn't that good to me. That is one of the most phenomenally bad statements we've seen on this channel. Let me see if I can put this on the Planet Uranus board. We've got a board here that I can put this on. Where is it? Planet Uranus, where are you? Let me go over to this real quick. I'll put it on. I'll find it later. So I got the 1.1, baby. I got the 1.1, baby. Do I go Jalen Hurts? I'll go Josh Allen. I love Jalen Hurts, though. Love Jalen Hurts. 1.1, baby. Let's go. All right, Speedy. I got to find this board for Speedy. Hold on. Let me see if I can find my Planet Uranus board. And then I'll answer your question, bro, about Devontae Adams. He could very well be one of my... bust candidates this year. I'm not saying I'm fading him entirely, Davante Adams, but you know, it's a tough QB situation, right? It's not ideal. It's not horrible. It could be worse, but it's not ideal by any means. And you know, Minshew can get hurt. What happens then? Then you're changing quarterbacks again. Last year, we got a dose of what the offense looked like without a big-time signal caller. So kind of hard to really know what to expect. You got Bowers coming in to take a lot of work. They say he looks great. I've seen him look great in camp. Very excited about Bowers. He looks fantastic. Here we go. Planet Uranus. Here we go.
Take a deuce. Take a deuce. Take a deuce. Take a deuce.
Kyren is replaceable. Kyren is easily replaceable. This number 5. I think we got to move this number 5 over. These are horrible comments, but this one takes the cake. It's at least in the top 5. I don't think anything will ever surpass the Gibbs is cooked. Donnie says JD5 equals RG3. James P says Breece Hall is undraftable. And Ray said Algier is better than Bijan. I don't think anyone's ever topping these, but speed definitely in the mix here at the 5 spot. That is definitely one of the worst comments I think we've seen in quite some time. So we're going to go ahead and leave that on the board. But yeah, Adams, bro, is really tough buy for me, given that he's 32 years old this year. He turns 32 years old this year. Cooper Kupp turned 30 last year. Everybody's scared to death to draft him, and he's turning. Let's see, Cooper Kupp, did he just turn 31, or is he turning? Ziggy, how old is Cooper Kupp? I think
Cooper Kupp is 30 years old.
He's still
and
30.
Was born on June 15th, 1993.
Ziggy off. Oh, so just in a couple, 10 days or so? In 10 days or so, he turns 31. So 31 years old. I don't know, man. I guess I would say take a couple shares of him at most, but at second round value, that's where Adams is going in second round territory, right? In most drafts. I'm not going near it.
Yeah, and then why is it that Diggs is going below him when Diggs has a better quarterback and, like, the regression wasn't as much? I don't understand that. Like, maybe people think that Davante Adams is just going to get fed, him, Bowers, and Jacoby. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, there's not enough footballs to go around in that offense without an elite quarterback. And Speed, you're embarrassing yourself, bro. You're literally embarrassing yourself. Corm is just more talented. Please, bro, look at their tape. What do you think I do for a living, Speed? What do you think I just come on here, Speed, and just, I don't know, run my mouth without looking at footage and film and watching? I watch more film and footage than you could possibly dream of watching. You don't even have time to watch the small amount I do while I'm on the can. When I'm on the shitter, bro, I watch more film on the shitter, sum total, than you watch your entire year. And on top of that, Speedy, when you were crapping your pants, or maybe you're negative years old, I've been doing this professionally, so you're embarrassing yourself. Bro, please go look at their tape. What do you think I haven't looked at every square inch of both of their tape? What is wrong with you, bro? It's mind-boggling. Such a weird thing to say to somebody. It's like going to the bank and saying, "Bro, would you really go look at the interest rates?" Your banker's trying to tell you what to get the account. Bro, would you really go check out the interest rates? I really wish you could go look at the paper. Hold on a second. I'm almost on the clock. This is interesting. I got Josh Allen. I got back-to-back picks right here. I got Puka Nacua there. I got Garrett Wilson there. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. there. Saquon Barkley's available. I kind of like the idea of going. I don't want to go Tua. I don't want to go Goff. I'm not forcing quarterback here. I might go Puka and Garrett. I've got a lot of Marvin Harrison Jr. So let's take a little gamble. Gamble meaning I don't grab my favorite player right now in Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's go Puka, Garrett Wilson, Josh Allen, and get a little variance there with that. I don't have a lot of Puka and Garrett Wilson teams to begin with. All right, Speedy, appreciate it. Speedy's at least got thick skin. You know, like most people run away and cry like Caleb in their mama's lap. But Speedy says, I like a lot of your takes. Haha, just not feeling Kyren. Like that takes some freaking. He's got a reset button on inside his mind that a lot of people don't have. So congrats to that. Let's send him to the moon at least for that.
To the moon.
I mean, really, I respect things like that. To be honest, those kind of things impress me. Like Speed just got more. I just got impressed by Speed. Believe it or not. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. Did I interrupt you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just asking, why is it that Devontae Adams goes ahead of Stephen Diggs? Stephen Diggs. I call him Stephen Diggs. Stephen Diggs. Stephen Diggs.
Why don't you call him what his name really is? Stephon Diggs. Well, I call him Steph. The reason I don't take him, because he's the lone wide receiver, really. As much as we just talked about, there are a lot of mouths to feed given the production coming out of the QB room. There's still way more advantage in Devontae Adams scooping up more than Diggs probably. Even though his offense is better, there's 3 mouths to feed on top of a running back, on top of a tight end, and Schultz probably still will do really well. But I think Diggs is a much bigger risk. And not to mention, Ziggy, how old is Stephon Diggs? How old is Steph?
Stephon Diggs is 30 years old. And was born
Turns
on November 29,
November. Ziggy off.
1993.
Ziggy off. So turns 30 this season. So they're about a year different. Also, wouldn't you say that the Diggs felt like he fell off last year? I know some were saying he's banged up. He's also unhappy. But who's to say he's going to be happy? Why he knocked his 4-year deal down to 1 is beyond me. Because all it does is make him expendable, and all it does is make him the odd man out when they start planning for the future, and they say to themselves, "Let's go ahead and roll with not maybe including Diggs in this package, or let's roll with this or roll with that." Like you're going to see this team kind of make moves around their future wide receivers. I just don't see this as a smart move for Diggs. I don't know why Diggs did that. He's trying to bank on himself somehow. I don't get it. It just puts the onus on him. He has to do everything without an advantage whatsoever in terms of a contract. If he had a big fat contract hanging over his head and over the team's head, then he could literally like force them to play him. Look, we're paying him a bunch of money, get him on the field. I don't know why in the hell Diggs went that direction. It was pretty stupid, if you ask me. All right, hold on one second, John. 510 caller. Who's this? And where are you calling from? 510. Hello. Bye. All right, next question, John. He's a risk. He's a second round risk. Totally. Devontae, like in a super flex going in the 28 pick. Look, I got Garrett Wilson at 25. Who's safer? Garrett Wilson by a mile. Marvin Harrison Jr. 27 over Devontae Adams. Much safer. Slam dunk. Drake London over Devontae Adams. Slam dunk. Much safer. Now, after Drake London, I don't know. You could argue Chris Olave, Nico are maybe safer. God, you guys don't let anybody fall. I mean, it's Snipe City. I mean, Kyren going in the 3rd round in a super flex. He should be going in the 4th or 5th given the quarterbacks. you guys don't leave it. You guys snipe everybody around too high. Good God. All right, hold on a second, John. 314 caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Sam. I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, Sam, call back. Sam, dang it. Sam got kicked on accident. I hit the wrong button. Sam, call back, bro. My bad, Sam. Let's see. I think I'm going to go. Sam, dial in again, bro. My bad. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Debo. Sam, you there?
Yeah, that was
Sorry,
me.
My bad, bro. Sam from where?
From St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. Sam from...
And
Okay, what's up, man? What can I do for you?
My question is, how do you go about in these early year drafts? How do you go about drafting guys who are like holding out, like Ayuk, Lamb? So I know it's a distant past now, but that Le'Veon Bell year still scares me from quite a while back. And I know it's a little different now, but I'm just wondering your thoughts on that.
It's hard because, I mean, like, so are you talking about like best ball drafts right now? I mean, as we get closer to like, even in the next couple of days, like we'll see Ayuk, and Ayuk is different than Lamb. Lamb is going to be able to get whatever the hell he wants, and even though they may not waive or can't even waive, there's some complexities to the actual fees and fines that the players get and what gets waived and what doesn't. To my knowledge, a fifth-year option player like Ayuk, there's those $100,000 fines that can be assessed, but for a fifth-year option player, those aren't assessed. For other players, it might be. So Lamb and Ayuk and such, like it's tough to know like what's what. So, but just those 3 days. So once the 3 days is up, which is basically now, we'll see what happens with Ayuk going forward. He might show up and hold in. And that sucks. It does present a problem. Holding in, you can still get hurt. Holding in, you're not doing as much. Holding in, you're trying not to do anything. You're just making yourself not get fined, but you're barely present. Yeah. So there's still a problem. It's still a mental block. It's all that. My guess is this, bro. With Ayuk, it's case by case, first of all. My guess is that with Ayuk, you almost have to just say he's most likely going to be the guy that just shows up, starts practicing. He doesn't have the leverage. He's not even getting the contract he wants. He's going to be told to come in and play on his current deal. He can't afford to get fined and owe all this money, and he's not going to have the leverage. He can barely get what he wants if he even gets remotely close to it. So he can't walk in and say, hey, before I sign that deal, I want my $110,000 tacked back on. Like, Lamb's going to get whatever he wants. That's nothing to the Cowboys at that point. So everything's just case by case, bro. Like anything, I tend to not worry about holdouts too much. It's very unlikely in today's NFL with the rules around not being able to get those fines waived for the most part that players can push this thing into the season. Like, we'll see somebody hold out on principle maybe once in the next 10 years. They'll go like 5 week into week 5. And it would be on some sort of principle stand, like an RB saying, I'm doing this for all the RBs or whatever. But, like, players will show up. The problem is Ayuk's more injury prone by not being there if he does, in fact, hold out. Now, if he shows up and holds in, he's more injury prone, holding in, not participating, etc., etc. CeeDee Lamb, every week that goes by, he's just a touch more injury prone. So there is that concern. I do believe that Lamb will get his bag very, very soon. I do believe that Ayuk may not and have to come in and bank on himself and play on his fifth-year option and try and get his bag in the offseason, which will be the smart play for him if the Niners are nowhere close. I still think Debo and Ayuk, one of them has at least a 25% chance of getting traded, sum total between the two.
Yeah, because I'm a Niners fan myself, and I don't think, because they freeing up a bunch of space with the restructures and stuff this year, but I think it's all in prep for Purdy's contract next year. So that's why I'm kind of worried about, my guy Ayuk and if he'll ever even get in. But that is true. I don't know what leverage he'll have to go on at that point.
Yeah, it's tough for Ayuk because, like, the Niners would have paid him. This is why it's so stupid, the Niner way. The Niners what they would have been willing to pay him, he would have taken. And now the Niners, I can guarantee you, have barely gone up in their thinking of value and said, we'll probably pay him a little more, but we're still going to pay him what we set aside for him. And in his mind, he's St. Brown. Doesn't matter what we think. In his mind, he is St. Brown. So he wants St. Brown money.
They waited way too long on that.
Way too long, bro. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just take a...
Oh, yeah. Good.
Well, I queued him. I drafted him from my queue. That's okay. A little early. Zamir White. I'm a little fearful of losing an opportunity to get him here. I'm just going to do two reaches. I've stayed very much true to ADP, but in this super flex with the ADPs not even fully settled yet, I'm going to go ahead and take the guy I think can win this entire thing for me in Justin Fields. It's a little bit early. He's the third quarterback ranked, though, so it's not like it's that big. His ADP is a little bit lower, but he's the third quarterback ranked. If he gets in there, I'm going to smash. So I've got Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel as my 3 wide receivers. I've got Josh Allen, and you only start 2 wide receivers, so one's my flex. I got Josh Allen and Zamir White. I've got Justin Fields. A little early on Zamir. I timed out on that, but I had him queued. Anyway, all right, bro, what else you got? Any other follow-up on that? I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. That was my question. Me and my buddy, my buddy's drafting a team right now. He's got in your league, and we checked out the show, and I was like, oh, let me give him a call, ask him a question.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I can't answer it in a blanket statement way. I can only tell you that each player, I would give you a personal assessment on each of them differently. I think the problem with a lot of fantasy football creators, content creators, is they have, like, this set notion, or hey, draft best ball this way. Draft, always stack. Like, there's so many, you got to take everything into account. And with a holdout player, you have to take into account what's the market, what's their likelihood of holding out, do they have any leverage, is their team willing to pay them? Like a team like Dallas, like what is Dallas going to do? Not sign Lamb? That's 0% chance.
Yeah, they had no option there.
Minnesota could only trade JJ, but then they had to sign him. Jamar Chase has to be signed. There's no other option. But with Ayuk, they could trade him. They could tell him to kick rocks. We drafted Pearsall. We're going to try and trade you. We could franchise tag you and trade you next year, but I don't think the Niners would even do that because the franchise tag is going to be, it was $22 million this year. With all these wide receiver deals, given it's the average of the top 5, I don't know what the hell it's going to be. And it won't be determined until later, too, so we won't even know. We can guesstimate. But I think Ayuk's best shot is to say, look, what's Ayuk wanting now? 30 mil. I think he would settle on 30 million a year, which is crazy. But it's so far away from where the new high is, right? So it makes sense that's where wide receivers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 would be. So he would ask for 29.5 million, 30 million. If he waits 1 calendar year, he's going to be lowballing himself by accepting 29 or 30 million by his next team this time next offseason because the values will go up once again. And for everybody that thinks that Goff's contract or the next QB to drop's contract doesn't affect the wide receivers, they don't know what they're talking about. For everybody that came in, you probably heard this a lot in your community, and I don't know why they think this way, just because, I don't know, they're trying to think positively, so I don't blame the Niner fans. But you'll read in Niner chats everywhere and comments everywhere, the JJ deal doesn't affect Brandon Ayuk, and that couldn't be more wrong. Like, JJ's guaranteed money affects every wide receiver below him because it pulls it all up. There's no way JJ getting $110 million guaranteed didn't raise the price of Ayuk. It rose everybody below him because everybody's spaced out.
Barrier.
Like, it's ridiculous thinking. It makes zero sense. So his value is so high right now, he almost has to wait until next year. Now, could the Niners surprise me? I would say the only way the Niners like 25% chance they give him a contract. That's still a significant number. I'm not going to be like, oh, I felt wrong. I mean, I don't know the answer, and there literally is no secure way to predict it. It's 25% chance in my mind Ayuk or Deebo, one of the two gets traded. That percentage is for both of them, one of them getting traded. 25% chance Ayuk gets a contract, 50% chance he plays on his 5th-year option. So that's kind of where I stand on it. Hold on one second. Let me just make this selection. I've got I've got 2 pretty decent options here. I'm going to go Najee, and I'm going to go Jonathan Brooks. So my team thus far from the 1 spot is, let me move this super chat over. I'll get to these super chats in a second. let me scroll back up. I've got Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Justin Fields, Najee Harris, Jonathan Brooks. Pretty dope. I like that start. All right, I don't know if I Sam where I'm at, but I appreciate you calling in. Calling anytime. I got you in the system so you can get in quicker. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, yeah, you too. See you, man.
Yeah, all right, Bob. Final thoughts. I'm going to circle you off the phone line, pal. But if you have another question, real quickly, hit me with it.
Hey, yeah, I'm not in this draft. I'm in another one, but can I give you my first 5 guys? And get your thoughts on it?
Yes.
I got Dak, Amon-Ra, Stafford, Ayuk, Cup.
I don't like Stafford's okay. I guess that's where I probably would say give me the later quarterback options. I think if we weren't in Snipe City, I would have got Russell Wilson instead of him getting taken at 93. I think I could have got Russell Wilson and Fields together. I'd much rather have that than go Stafford early and miss out on getting a. Damn, you could get like some of the 3rd round guys are crazy, but I don't know. I like Stafford ain't bad. But you could get McBride, Cup. But you got Cup anyway, so. But I like it. It's not bad, bro. Not bad.
I had Andrews right after. That was the next.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Like what you can sometimes do too is say like, okay, I got Stafford, but instead of taking 2 spots down this player, who did you get? Andrews. That's pretty damn good. So Stafford and Andrews, would that beat out getting, even let's say a Jacobs and the quarterback? I mean, definitely is arguable, so not bad. All right, John, later. Bro,
thanks a lot.
Call back if you got another one later. Travis and then Braden, hang tight for me real quick. Travis and Braden both hang tight real quick. Let me get these 2 super chats out of the way. Joseph, DJ Speedy is in multiple drafts. He drafted Kyren in my draft. I thought you don't like him, Speedy. Maybe this is a different Speed, though. Speed and Speedy might be 2 different players. No, it was the same guy. Smitty, change your mind. Confess. So Joseph's calling you out, bro. He says you're drafting Kyren in a bunch of drafts. What say you, Speedy? Steve Morris, finally get to catch your late night show. Mad respect for your work ethic. 100K subs coming to you soon. The Fantasy Football Show to Saturn. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you dropping the 5 wad. Are you both here, Steve? And who dropped that other one? Steve and Joseph.
Braden.
No, Braden. You didn't drop a super chat, Braden.
No, I didn't. I'm on call though.
Yeah, you are on call. Okay, hold on, Braden. Hang tight. Yeah. All right. Let's go to Travis real quick. Unless Travis, you want Braden to go first.
No, let him go first.
Yeah, he's such a gentleman. Go ahead, Braden.
Oh, so kind of you. I appreciate it. Just want to talk about Kyren from more of a dynasty perspective. Blake Corum, I haven't been able to get in trades. And I'm sitting here, and I don't know if you saw my chat from earlier. I mean, I'm thinking of selling. I'm thinking of holding. Like I love to hold, but man, I'm thinking of competing next year, right? In my dynasty league, and I'm sitting here. I'm looking at Kyren at my running back 1 spot. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. I think he could be a top 3 running back next year alone.
He's so trying not to take a lot.
Like I can't do it. If I think about him and pairing him up with another wide receiver running back on my team and getting like a JT or even down tiering to maybe an Isaiah Pacheco, like I feel better about those sort of scenarios than, holding on to him just to see, what happens in this entire offseason. I mean,
so you said you couldn't get Corum? You said you couldn't get Corum?
No, I couldn't. I mean, I got some stingy league mates, and honestly, I think somebody took Corum at around the spot that, Trey Benson's going in, and it's like, jeez, man, like you can't be taking guys that early. I mean, at least in my league, that's more of the 3rd round, and I'm sitting there shaking my head, going like, I don't know why you're high on Blake Corum. Maybe he's a Michigan fan, whatever the case may be.
Why I'm high on Blake Corum? You're asking why I'm high on him?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I just happen to have a league mate that's a big Michigan fan, and
you're wondering why he took. I think you're asking why am I high on him? I'm like, do I need to pull it all out? But you're saying you're asking that. Okay, I got you. I was like, I can tell you why. look. Here's the thing, bro. If you can't get, there's a reason this board's up here. The best handcuff in fantasy, the most critical handcuff in fantasy. You need to have the duo. You just have to. If you don't, you are running a huge risk because of how aggressive Kyren runs the ball. But if you want me to come in here and say,
because Blake Corum is the number 3 running back in this entire class, right?
No, but Blake Corum is an average running back, bro. I don't care about Blake Corum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blake Corum in this offense is a good running back that turns near great because of the offense. So if he goes out there and looks good, someone's probably somewhere going to come in and go, told you how amazing he... Like, why do you think I have this board here is what I'm going to tell them. If anybody... Let's say Kyren goes down for 3 games and Corum goes nuts. Anybody that comes in here thinking they're going to celebrate, this is already covered. Like, there's a reason we're discussing it like this all the time.
And that's why you have, McCaffrey and Garendo on there. I have stock in Garendo, but I don't have McCaffrey to do that stack.
Right. That's fine. That standalone's good.
McCaffrey gets hurt, I add in Garendo.
Yeah, and Garendo's a little bit of a risk because he doesn't even have the job yet. But my thinking there is, real quickly, side note, Mitchell and Mason, they have no more value left. Like they're not going to get re-signed. Like they're gone.
No, Elijah Mitchell is out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
So 1 year they're both gone. So who do you think they're grooming now? Are they going to waste time with Mitchell? And maybe not. But anyway, neither here nor there.
From team to team.
But here,
who are they grooming?
But listen to me real quick though. Before you start, as much as I tell you, you need to have Kyren and Corum. There's no Corum for JT. Like JT is the same as having Kyren without the ability to get Corum. So at the end of the day, push comes to shove, I want Kyren over JT every time. They both have injury risk. But one of them has a backup that you can cuff and have guaranteed top 5 running back value by having the duo. If you can't get it, it doesn't make me run away to a running back that has no handcuff that gives you the same injury risk. Like, I think you're overthinking it. And at the same time, you could still maybe acquire Corum somehow. I don't know. You never know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you can't. But I just don't think I run away from it. Now, is there an alternate option of going a wide receiver or something? Like, give me the scenario here. This sounds like it's a keeper league, right?
Yeah, no, it's keeper league. It's dynasty. I want to compare.
It's not dynasty. It's either keeper or it's dynasty. It's one or the other.
It's dynasty.
Oh, it's dynasty. Full dynasty. You keep everybody. Okay. So when you say you want to get rid of Kyren, you mean to trade for JT in a trade, not to draft in a keeper draft where guys are released back into the pool.
And this is another thing to keep in mind, especially with dynasty and keeper trades. I mean, nobody's drafting Kyren in 2023. I think that people are adding him off of waiver wires, and they're understanding the value that they've accumulated having him on your team. So I think that the trade idea is good because I've accumulated all this value, and now I can put on whatever I can on top of it, to get a JT or to get.
But I want Kyren over JT. I want Kyren over JT. I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of him. JT has no cuff. JT is not safer. The only thing I'd say to you, bro, is
I get it.
Maybe if you could do that for Gibbs, sure. But Gibbs, as you'll notice, Gibbs is a player, not 2 players as well. So I mean, you're still in the same boat. Kyren is a little more.
It's not high right now.
It's not. So why trade him? Right, yeah. So why trade him and give him up for what? I mean, what are you going to get? People aren't. I'm not worried about it, bro. Unless you can trade for a wide receiver, like you give up a future pick and you get Marvin Harrison Jr. out of it or something. I would do that. I would trade Kyren Williams for Marvin Harrison Jr. because you get a decade of value, like things like that. I'm not gonna draft blindly this guy every single time.
In my league personally, like I got stock in Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, or Drake London even. I'm in a 10 team, but we're stocked up. I've faded running backs in my league. Like I've faded running backs in my draft. I picked up Kyren and Achane. So like for the fact that I've accumulated this much value, I'm happy about it. But I think that throughout this offseason, I'm sitting here with Kyren and I'm going I'm really happy with him. But I'm looking at these last few weeks in the season, I'm going, I don't know if I'm going to get those 150-yard games again. And like I'm really optimistic about it, and I think that Corum is a great cuff to make sure that, like, you know, I understand Sean McVay has this idea of like, oh, I drafted Blake Corum because, you know, he's got the same archetype as Kyren Williams.
You know what you sound like though, bro? You know what you sound like though is this is like a guy that's gonna break up with his girlfriend, and he's giving all these examples of why he doesn't want to do it or why he wants to do it. It's the grass is always greener. No matter what you're telling me now, the moment you trade him, you could have the same conversation with the same authority back at me going, but what if he is the real deal? What if I got rid of him and I shouldn't have got rid of him? And what if he could have stayed healthy? And God's honest truth, I traded for JT. JT has an injury history, and JT's no spring chicken. Maybe you're arguing something that you could argue both sides to, 100%. But what you're saying doesn't scare. None of what you're saying, I believe in. I believe in Kyren. Of course, I'm going to cuff him to Corum. There's no cuff for some of these guys, and you don't have that luxury. But I'm not running away from Kyren Williams. I'm just not. Would I rather have a wide receiver? Yes, I would. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. Would I rather have Justin Jefferson? Sure. Lamb? Absolutely. All those guys? Absolutely. So if you can give up first rounders and upgrade into a top 5 player like that, the longevity is a beautiful thing. The only other player I would say, like, if we look at this board right here, and I know this is redraft superflex, but I'm just trying to look at all the green names, right? These are all the RBs. You could get an H-hand for Kyren somehow without giving up a ton. Maybe because of the youth and the way they use him, he'll always be kind of a Deebo Samuel-esque player. But then if you had him, bro, I got
both in this situation, but yeah.
If you had him, you'd be like, oh, but what if he gets replaced? You'd be doing the same thing. What other running back could you go after? Josh Jacobs, he's injury prone. He's older. ETN, there's always fear that he's going to lose some of his work, and he's got that injury risk. There's no one below Kyren and Achan down in these green names other than, like, if you were to go get like a Benson or Jonathan Brooks, and you're able to get some other little piece to it. But like you said, the trade market isn't there for Kyren. I don't even know if you could trade Kyren for Brooks straight up. You may or may not. But if you could, would I take Brooks and a Devontae Smith? I probably would if you needed to rebuild. Would I take Brooks and a DK? Would I take Brooks and even an older player if you think you could win now even with your team or whatever? But I think you're overthinking this, bro. I think you're way overthinking this, and you're trying to create problems where they're not there. You're coming into the situation and trying to argue that Kyren is going to, why is he going to fail you? You're trying to break up with him before he breaks up with you. That's what you're doing. You want to be the one to end it. You don't want him to stab you in the back.
Because if he breaks up with me, then he's going to be, you know, an RB2 in his own team.
You're afraid he's going to go get ice and not come home.
Yep, I am.
You know,
right, Smitty. I appreciate it.
Super chat.
It's like the you know, the divorced family. I come from a divorced family myself. You know, there's always issues. So you're always a little bit afraid of disappointment. You're afraid that someone's getting ice and not coming home. All right, hey,
like Braden, I want to be the first to do it, you know? I don't want the other person to tell me I'm wrong.
All right, Braden, call back if you got another one. I'll be here later. This super chat from Perps, $10 hauler, gets a moonshot. We haven't seen Perps in the building in a while, so this is good. At least consistently. Yeah. Perps, that's not a knock. I know you're a busy guy. I'm just saying we're glad to see your face, bro. Hey, Smitty, and the chat, I think I'm in the right place, and I'm not lost. I was just wondering if you still have room for me, or did you hit the capacity in the live stream? No, we've still got some room to squeeze you in. Perps, appreciate your $10 hauler, my guy. Perps to the moon. Let's send Perps to Saturn, actually.
To Saturn.
All right, let's go back to this drive. All right, Travis, you're live.
Sick Nasty actually had a good question in the chat. He was saying, where is it? In a league where you only have like 5 bench spots and it's hard to cuff somebody, would you draft Kyren or Achan, and who needs to be cuffed less? You know, just your take on that. I thought it was a good question though, because there are a lot of leagues out there with only a couple bench spots. That puts you in a different spot. Like, would you, no matter what, still use the cuff, or would you just roll the dice on a different player with a short bench too?
So Achan is 22. He turns 23 this year. Not that these are going to be that big, but Kyren Williams is 23. He turns 24. So I mean, they're still both very, very young. I mean, Achane. I mean, really, they both have their like 1 year of usage, really. But I mean, you could just say like the reason I love Achane so much is because he's got a dedicated role in the offense where he's the Deebo Samuel. And as much as people don't understand that, or they say he's not Deebo Samuel's a big guy. It's Mike McDaniel's the architect of the Deebo Samuel wide back role. So when he got to Miami, you'd think, oh, Tyreek Hill's going to be Deebo, right? No, Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is out there running all over the field, stretching the defense out, and just being Tyreek Hill. He created his wide back in the form of a running back this time instead of a wide receiver. And this running back plays wide receiver and running back, but plays the Deebo Samuel role, so to speak. He's very, 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 very solid. And you can cuff right, I think, easier than you can cuff Corum to Kyren anyway. So in that general sense, it makes it pretty interesting. But at the same time, it's like, Kyren has the ability to be the number one overall running back in fantasy football. I'm not saying Achane doesn't have that upside. He kind of does. Real quickly, let me just take this player. I'm going to take Ricky Pearsall. I also have Deebo, so I love that move. I love stacking the two. I've got my team. I'm going to review my team in a second. I really like this team. I think I'm going to grab Vidal. So my team, real quickly, is, as you can see on the left of the screen, Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Josh Jacobs, Zamir White auto-picked, but I had him queued. He was my last, so I was fine with it. I just didn't want to grab him that high. However, he wouldn't have made it back to me, I don't think. So Zamir White. Then I took Justin Fields as my ballsy QB2, but he's sharing the role with another ballsy move. So Fields and Najee and Brooks, and I took back-to-back. I took Bowers and I stacked. I took Goddard. So I'm like, I've got a pretty damn good team. 80 Mitchell, Ricky Pearsall to cuff to Deebo, and then I got Vidal at running back, and now we're going down and we're coming back. Let me just put this caller on hold. 314 caller. What's your name and where are you calling from, bro?
This is Mike. I'm in the draft at pick 7 here, and I am from St. Louis.
Mike from St. Louis. Okay, and let me put you on hold, and then I'll come right back to you, and then we'll look at your team.
Yeah, I got you.
What was I saying, Travis, to you?
I was just sick of this question over,
yes.
Achane or Corum with a short bench specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, it's not that Achane can't be the number one running back, but he's more that like 5 guy, 4, 5, 6. So because Kyren can be 1, he could literally be the number 1 running back in fantasy. He was the number 2. Extrapolate his data, he was the number 2. Per start, he was the number 2 running back in fantasy, only behind Christian McCaffrey and not far at all. So he's already proven it. So at the end of the day, I want Kyren, but in a sense, you kind of are running the risk a little bit with either one of them as your number 1 running back, but I don't mind it at all. But I do go to the ends of the earth to cuff the two RBs. I cuff Achane a little less because you're not usually drafting him as like your bona fide 1. Kyren feels a little more like you would, and I definitely feel like Kyren. I traded Kyle Pitts for Goddard to get the 1.12 in our draft that you're in, the follower league that we have, so I could get Corum.
Yeah.
I downgraded Kyle Pitts into Goddard to get Blake Corum to cuff to my Kyren. And while it's not probably the most popular move to some people, Kyren goes really high in a dynasty startup. So I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with it at all. But that's how important it was to me to make sure I had the McVay running back locked and loaded. So I really think everybody should go to the ends of the earth to get this done, to get the cuff. The cuff is the most important. I can't emphasize this enough. This must cuff board, we're going to review it all year long. It'll adjust and move around. But like, I mean, at some point we're going to run into, I guarantee you, like thousands of people between now and the end of the year that start saying something weird about, told you needed core, like, and we're going to be like, I right here. Like I literally pull it up like 5 times a show. It's a necessity. It really is. It doesn't mean Kyren's not worth it. It just means that Kyren and Corum is maybe the number 1 running back in fantasy football. And tell me another RB combo until Garendo gets a hold of the job, because you don't even know. Tell me another combo of running backs, if you cupped them together, that just using one of them at a time would give you the number 1 running back value.
Number 1, right.
Like McCaffrey gives it to you by himself, but like you don't know the combo to guarantee it if McCaffrey missed 4 games. If Kyren misses 4 games, you're pretty much still sum total 17 starts, not using both of them, but 17 starts using only one at a time. You're guaranteed the highest value out of everybody on the board. So it's just, that's why it's the most important. That defines what the most important cuff is in fantasy. Let me go to Mike real quick. Mike from St. Louis. Mike, you're in the 7 spot, you said?
Yes, that's correct.
Mikey V. Okay, Mikey V. McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Goff, Ayuk, DK, Pittman, Christian Kirk, David Montgomery, Addison. I don't hate the team. I think at the end of the day, I'm just not the kind of guy that likes to take a Tua, a Trevor Lawrence, a Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, or even a Stafford in round 3. I know that some people, they superflex to them, the process is pretty simple. They're getting a position. I never, as you can tell, even in this draft, I never draft a position. I always draft a player. If those are your guys, if you believe Goff will be a top 6 quarterback, then you need to trust your gut and don't listen to a thing I'm saying about it. But I myself would just personally rather get one of those, huge monsters like JT or Kyren or London or Achane, and then come back around the next round and you could have got Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers and Kyren or Aaron Rodgers and Achane crush your Ayuk and Goff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In my opinion.
I wanted to ask you personally what you think about the value of the Texans wide receiver core this year and who you're trying to grab out of the 3 the most.
Tank Dell by a country freaking mile, bro. It's not even close. The reason I say that, let me just see real quickly who's available. Damn, I kind of got to go in our court. Do I take a gamble on Sam Darnold, or do I go Brissett, or do I go Howell? I might go Howell. I think
starting quarterback of the Vikings.
Yeah. God, I hate drafting Darnold. I guess I'll do it just to get. What if there's 1 start or 2 starts? I don't know. That's kind of one of those things where it's like he's garbage, but maybe he gets a start. Maybe one time he saves me that week. I don't know. What was the question, bro? Or where was I at, Mike? What was I saying?
We were talking about the Texans receivers and why you were taking Tank Dell.
Yeah, Tank Dell. Okay, so that's a country mile. Why? Because Diggs is going around 3. Nico's going probably in the 2-3 turn right now. That contract, I imagine, is bumping him up. Did his ADP? Let me go real quickly to the Underdog Fantasy ADP data and take a look at the wide receivers. Nico has climbed all the way to. Diggs is at 27 overall, so just outside the top 24. So he's at 3. The top around 3. Nico's now embedded deeply into the second round at 21.3. Hell no. So Nico, he's not even in this turn. He's deeply inside the second round. That is not good value. It's not. It just isn't. So Nico, no. Diggs is no longer bottom of 3. He's top of 3. There's hell no to that. Tank Dell is going at 38 overall. So that's right. So he's in. He did climb a little bit. He was down in the middle of round 4. But Dell is right here. Dell's the only pick. Because you're spending 4th drafted player value on Dell And these guys are just, you're paying top dollar. You're buying them at their ceiling. There's just not a debate in my mind. Now, if you could give me any one of them without any cost involved, I suppose the safest one is Nico. Just got paid the bag.
Yeah.
He comes off the season with the rapport. It seems like he's solidified in his mind, and probably more importantly, the team's mind, right? They're going to leave him in that 1 or 2 spot. There is a chance in a world where Dell and Diggs are going to maybe hurt each other a little more, but at the cost of entry, I have no problem with that. But if I had to just take one, I probably would take Nico. And why would I take Nico? Partly because of what I just said, but the other part would be because his trade value. I could probably trade him for whatever the hell I want, bro. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I also was thinking, with Diggs going there, is he really about to be the third receiver in that offense? I mean, because I could see Tank Dell getting more involvement or same involvement as him, honestly.
Yeah.
Or will it kind of look a little bit like the Bengals where they had, I mean, I'm not saying Higgins and Dell or Higgins and Diggs are the same, people, but kind of that similar 3-set that they had for a while going.
Yeah, I'll also say this though, bro. Like, and I think everybody on the line should agree with this. This is not, and this isn't me just asking people to agree with me. Like, you can tell me if you really do or not. But if Diggs didn't reconstruct his contract or void every single year on his contract, but the final year with this year, then he would have had so much more of a foothold in not only the future, but the 2024 season. Like like my example of Eli Mitchell and Jordan Mason in San Francisco as the backup running backs to McCaffrey. Why would the team have any interest in developing one of those guys when they're wasting time getting Garendo up to speed if he's the future? You know what I mean? So I don't know who advised Diggs to go and void all of his contract and bank on himself, because it only puts him in a vulnerable spot, because the outlook of the team is going to be centered around the guys that will for sure be there next year. And if they voided his contract, why would they void it to only pay him more? Diggs is voiding it so he can get a bigger deal in the offseason. Now, I say Diggs is ridiculous for doing it. He might end up having the last laugh. It's certainly possible that Diggs ends up getting something significant, and we're all the ones, going, holy crap, he did it. He actually did it. Maybe in the offseason he gets this $30 million a year, $33 million a year times X, who the hell knows what it's going to be. Who knows? But he's older. I don't imagine he does, but if he goes, he goes ham this year. Hold on one second. I'm on the clock. Let me make my picks real quick. Hold on. I got so we got this. I got 3 picks left. I'm gonna go Tucker Kraft just to get my last tight end, and then I'm gonna go McMillan. I love McMillan. Boom. Okay. So anyway, Diggs has put himself in a bad spot. I don't know why he would do that. I don't know who advised him to do that. Because if you're the coach, bro, why are you not going to bring Tank Dell along? Why are you not going to bring Nico along at any moment? Why would you? Maybe if you felt like we could win a championship, let's get Diggs out there. I get that. Diggs is banking on that, but there's no way in hell I'm doing that. Hold on, we got gifted memberships. Gifted memberships by who did this? First of all, Jared gifted 1 membership, and that went to Klondike. Jared, I appreciate you. I'm sending you to the moon. For being such a monster and doing that. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much, Jared. Every little bit counts. Getting anybody a membership's amazing. Perps gifting 20 memberships. Unbelievable, Perps. Perps, you still in the building? Perps, appreciate you. You're an absolute legend. And you gave one to Keith and golf and golf course guy. You gave one to Cameron, you gave one to Seth and Gavin and John and Tony and Young got one from Perps. Young, where was yours? Young got one from Perps. That's right. You don't need it. I get it. I'm just joking with you. Mark B. Saya got one. Lucas, Easy 3. Kevin. Chris got one. Joe. Mr. G. Zastro. Where's yours been, Zastro? Joel. Perps, thank you for being a monster. You're an absolute legend on the channel. And Aaron dropping a super. Rank these guys in order. Dynasty, Ladd, Addison, and Dell. Give me Dell, tier break, like a hard tier break. And then I'm going to go, Ladd and Addison are pretty damn close, man. I guess I go Ladd only because Addison, I don't like his quarterback. I don't love his situation anymore. And he can never be the number one wide receiver in the immediate, at least the immediate future. He can't. He can't. Unless JJ got hurt or something, he is literally beholden to JJ McCarthy and having the second, maybe the third target share on that Vikings offense, which is drastically different than it used to be. At least Ladd McConkey has a shot at being the number one for his team, even if it's run heavy, is still the best chance he has. Let me go over to
the Vikings had a better QB. I'd like Addison.
True. Yeah. Or if he got traded or something like that. If he got
traded, yeah, that'd be amazing.
Perps, thank you. And thank you, Amon, for that question. Mike, did you have a follow-up, or did I answer your question good enough?
No, you answered everything. I appreciate it, man.
All right, bro. Call back if you got another
I'll
one.
talk to you later.
All right,
Gotcha.
Braden called back. Braden, what else you got?
Yeah, Braden. Yeah.
Yeah, Braden. I'm Smitty. You're Braden. Hey, Braden.
No. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Smitty.
Bro, somebody does that about once every couple months.
Hey, it's 1 a.m. in the Midwest right now.
I know, but it's just funny. Somebody does that about once every couple months. They go, "This is Smitty. You're live." Hey, Braden. It's Smitty. I mean, I'm not Smitty. What's up, Braden?
I just want to talk about more about the 2-3 turn. We could talk about Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Nico and Stephon Diggs while we're at it. I don't think I'm taking Stephon Diggs or Nico Collins at that 2-3 turn.
You should.
I mean, if they're dropping at least maybe 3 spots past ADP, I think I'm taking them. And 3 spots being maybe Diggs and, in a 12-team league, I think Diggs and Nico can go maybe mid-third. But I don't think I'm taking them anywhere before that.
Nor should you.
Early third, maybe late second.
Yeah, nor should you. Yeah,
and I just want to know who are you taking before them? Because I know that Malik Neighbors in at least in your draft is going pretty far down, but Malik Neighbors I even like as a prospect. Even in redrafts before them.
Yeah, I guess I would say at the 2-3 turn it gets difficult, bro. Hang tight real quickly on this and let me go through this draft board, and then I'll pull up another draft board that's non-superflex, and then let's break it down. So mute yourself real quick. I'll come back. We'll talk wide receivers, right? At the 2-3 turn is your general question?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, hang tight. So this is the board here. I'm just going to review people that I 100% know are people. Josh Allen, this is my team. I know me. I'm Braden. Hold on, Smitty. I'm going to put you on hold. Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel. I mean, even though I don't know what my running backs are going to be at this point, you can't really start any better than for the value. Puka, Garrett Wilson, Deebo, it's filthy. Josh Allen, and obviously my quarterback situation is going to be shaky, but I really quietly like it. It worked out to my advantage. I was going to try and get Russell Wilson with Fields, but it's okay. So Puka, Garrett Wilson, Deebo with Josh Allen. Jacobs, Zamir White, Justin Fields, Najee Harris, Jonathan Brooks, and then I waited so long on tight end, I just decided to double up here, and I took Bowers and Goddard. Bowers looks phenomenal right now, by the way. Penix Jr. with Fields is I think I'm going to get really lucky. Lucky's a bad term because I think it's smart. I think I'm going to get, it's going to pay off for me. I think between Fields and Penix Jr., knock on wood for Cousins, but I just think one of them is going to save the hell out of this team. And nor do I think I'm in a bad spot with my super flex being a non-quarterback for a little while this unfolds, because I got talent for days. I mean, it's a 2 wide receiver required league, right? So I got Puka, Garrett Wilson, and Josh Allen. Debo's my flex, maybe, because I got Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Najee, Jonathan Brooks, and Debo to fend for 2 of the running back spots, and then so let's say Zamir and Josh Jacobs consume those. Najee, Brooks, and Debo are fighting for the flex spot, and then one of the other ones is fighting for the super flex spot until Fields so I'm not even that worried about it. Brock Bowers and Goddard's fantastic. I've got I think I said I stacked Goddard to Hurts, but I forgot I didn't take Hurts when in my mind I said that. I was thinking that I was talking about taking Hurts at 1, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm not even one that forces stacks. It's not a big deal to me every time when it doesn't make sense. I got A.D. Mitchell, Ricky Pearsall cuffed, a little bit of a weird stack right to Debo, which is a protective measure in my opinion. A.D. Mitchell, I love A.D. Mitchell. Vidal, Braylon Allen, Sam Darnold, Kraft, McMillan, and then my last pick was didn't show up, Spencer Rattler. I just took another quarterback, and he could be one of those surprise QBs. I think he's a great super flex final draft selection, or one of the last 2 picks, because I think he's the most hidden gem potential quarterback in this draft class and really in the NFL. I don't know that he will do anything. I'm not putting money on it. I'm not trying to put my reputation on it. I just think that he does fit the bill for one of the hidden quarterbacks that not only have an opportunity, right? Because Carr gets injured a lot and he's not very good. If Carr went out and struggled and lost 4 games out of 5, they would replace him with Rattler. They would it's not something they're going to just wait on Derek Carr for. So I really, 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 really love the Rattler move at the end of a Superflex. I love McMillan. My tight end room is great with Tucker Kraft and the 2 Goddard and Bowers. So I love this squad. Gladiator from the 2, Hurts, AJ Brown, Barkley, Devontae Smith, Kincaid, Bryce Young, McLaurin. I like the team. It's pretty solid. That's good. Blake Corum, Eckler, it's not bad. Live from the 3, Jackson, Amon-Ra, Harrison Jr., Aaron Rodgers, ETN, Hollywood, Rashad White. Very, very well-rounded team. Keon Coleman. I was really hoping to get Keon Coleman at that 96 pick where I took Najee. I was really hoping to get him there. I had to take Fields at 73 just to be safe, and I would have definitely grabbed Keon Coleman to get that stack going. So my stacks got kind of foiled in the Snipe City environment that we're in. I don't know if I recognize everybody. And if I miss you, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna come back to it. But Mike V, who I believe is no longer on the phone line, but Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Ayuk, DK, Pittman Jr. I like the squad. I'm just, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Goff selection and going 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds. I wouldn't be as happy having Purdy and Goff as I would 2 other guys if I'm taking 2 QBs in the first 3 rounds. Joe Burrow, Bijan, that's Speedy. Joe Burrow, Bijan, Cousins, Deshaun Watson, Kelsey, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Lab McConkey, Chris Godwin. I like this team. It's pretty good. Who's your running back 2? James Conner, Brian Robinson. I like Ford. Ford was a good selection. Quarterbacks. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have gone. I mean, it's okay. I probably wouldn't have gone Deshaun Watson myself. Kelsey's a great pick. Dell's a great pick. It's a good team. And then I think the last guy, Spino, is one of ours.
Yeah, he super chatted asking me to read it.
Okay, great. I'll get to that super chat in a second, but I'll rate it right now. Dak and Jordan Love. I mean, look, that's sometimes it's hard to bite the bullet and go quarterback there. It just feels dirty, because you're like, damn, man, how are my first 2 picks Dak and Love? I love Jordan Love. But it just makes you feel kind of strange. But then when you get back to your picks, it can work out and do wonders for you. So Devon Achane was fantastic. Nico, people are taking him in 2. That's a guy I wouldn't have personally taken. but people are taking him in 2, so you're getting a perceived good value. The ADP says so. Malik Neighbors, not bad there, really, at the end of the day, given what you're doing. Pacheco, Kittle, Reed, Christian Watson. I like the squad. I'll just be honest. I'm always very tempted to go no quarterback from the 12 spot, and I've had pretty good success because I've been liking the quarterbacks that fall to me. The only downside to this maneuver in a snipe environment is that the quarterbacks and players we like go a little earlier, but you would have probably pulled it off. So let's just say, like, reconstructing your team. Let's say you went Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase at the 12 and 13. That is tickling my fancy, I gotta admit. Then when you get back to Achane, you go Achane and Kyren will normally fall. I think not in this community, but you would get Achane and Kyren. So I did this last night. I pulled this maneuver off last night. It worked in one and it backfired in the other, and that's just the nature of doing this risky play. So Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill, I did this exact same thing. Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Achane, and Kyren is what I did. And then when it came back in one of the drafts, it worked, and one of them it did not. In one of them, I got Kirk Cousins and Kirk Cousins and Penix Jr. and Fields and Russell Wilson. And I didn't even take them all in that order, but I got both of those QB rooms locked up. And so I'm very excited about that team, given the firepower I have with the other positions. So, you know, it's tough to say. Like, and you could also said like go Jamar Chase and Jordan Love, or Tyreek Hill and Jordan Love, and then go Aaron Rodgers instead of Nico. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, do I like Dak and Nico better than Jamar Chase and Aaron Rodgers? It's debatable, but for some reason, it's something that I would probably prefer. So, good teams. I like it. Everybody did good. If anybody wants to draft next time, the link is pinned in the live chat. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Do it live. Thank you, Perps, for the $2 hauler. Did we put? We put this on the worst prediction ever board, right? Yeah, we did. Perps, thank you for dropping that. And then that super chat came from Morgan. Review Spino from the 12. Thank you, pal. Appreciate your super chat. To the moon for your $5 hauler. I'm going to send you a $10 moon shot for that 5, just because I appreciate you. Rock out, you're live. Marsman, rock out. Sorry.
$40.
Can I give you my terrible team?
You're terrible. You sounded a little bit like Charles Barkley right there. Can I give you my terrible team? You're terrible. Go ahead, give me your terrible team. And I got Superfish dropping a 20 wad. Go ahead with your terrible team.
I got Richardson at quarterback, Rodgers, Minshew, Donald, and then running back Gibbs, Stevenson, Connor, Chase Brown, Vidal. Wide receiver DK, McLaurin, Reed, Jameson Williams, Franklin, McCaffrey, Odell Jr., AJ Perry. Tight end, Laporta, Fournette, and Kraft.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think you drafted a better one the other night, if I remember correctly. But like, I still like it. It's still good.
Yeah, freaking.
Sounds like you got sniped. Okay. Yeah, because when I was who'd you auto on?
And I was getting. So what?
Who did you auto draft on?
I auto drafted on Laporta and was in the 3rd round. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, it's super flex that is early. Damn. Yeah, that's a little early. That's probably why it sounded light. I started writing. I started writing it out and I stopped writing. Not because I hated it, because I'm like, this definitely
missing like 2 players.
Yeah, you definitely drafted better. I was drafting the best team of my life in Superflex the other night. And I do like, when I do drafts, I'll do like 5 or 6 live ones at the same time, and it's a little stressful. And occasionally you'll time out, but I'll just sit there and I'll go, and it'll get an alert, and I'll hit it from my phone will give me the alert. I'll hit it, I'll draft, and I'll get another alert, and I'll try and draft before that alert goes away. I'll hit it. Sometimes I have to go back, go to active, and see that I'm on the clock in 2 drafts. One's got 14 seconds, one's got 22, and I just totally I fire off like 4 or 5 of them that way. sometimes 6 or 7. And you're usually on the clock at the same time. If you do 6 or 7, you're usually on the clock at the same time about every other time. And it's a little stressful. But I didn't even know that I missed one of them. But the one team that was my favorite, I was drafting the best team of my life. And I go back and look at it, and I autoed on I think it was DJ Moore. And it was really kind of early, and I don't like DJ Moore this year. And I was so pissed. I was so mad. I just screwed up the entire draft. Hold on, Superfish dropped a $20 hauler. Let me give Superfish the attention Superfish deserves.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, Superfish, for dropping the super chat. Superfish says, 4th Superflex ever. Hurts, Purdy, Baker, Barkley, Rashad, Mostert, Jalen Wright, Braylon Allen, CEH, Debo, JSN, Watson, Lockett, Shakir, Cooks, Robinson, Rams, Malik, Washington, Kittle, likely, Jonnu. I'm getting there. Yeah, I mean, look, your first draft you ever did the other night in a super flex draft with us was one of the best drafts of that entire, it was probably the second or third best team easily, if not the first. So, I mean, getting there, you did great the first draft. It's a sweet spot trying to get that second quarterback. That's the whole strategy. If anybody tries to make you feel like you have to take 2 quarterbacks in rounds 1 and 2, if it were that easy, everyone would just do it. That's the whole thing, is like you get to these tipping points where you say, damn, do I go that way or do I go this way? That's what makes it fun. That's what makes Superflex even harder. And also keep in mind this right here, because this is really important. There's no luck involved in winning a Superflex as much as there is in a normal 1 QB. A normal 1 QB, if you do, let's say, a draft at your work, and some random person that barely watches, they're always a Vikings fan. But they're a Vikings fan, and they're all about the Vikings. That's all they care about. They wear the Vikings jerseys to the draft, if you even do that. They wear the Vikings jerseys to the potluck at work. Like, they somehow they could win the league. Like, it's 12 people. They have a great team. They have somebody that pops off like Kyren on their bench, and then they start starting them, and they can win the league. In a Superflex, it's very, very, very hard to trip and fall into a championship. It is very, very hard. So it takes a good year playing before you feel very comfortable with it, number one. And number two, it's because of that dynamic I just described, trying to find the sweet spot of when to grab the quarterback. So if anybody wants to make their league super tough, then make it a Superflex, and you will have very little luck involved. It's really hard to win a Superflex. What are you saying here, Devos? Devos, a lot of what you say gets moderated and blocked because the way you use verbiage. I mean, if you know why you don't get okay, I don't know. Is somebody complaining about not getting a gifted membership? Because Devos, you can't. I mean, some of the verbiage YouTube will block it immediately, and then on top of that, so just know that none of that's getting through when you speak like that. Perp says, "Wow, throwing shots." Oh, Vikings fans, yeah. No, but Perps, I mean, that probably makes sense to you. There's probably a lot of bandwagon, Viking fans in the workplace, right? Or anywhere anybody's been, It's no shot at Perps. It's a shot at the people that don't love the Vikings probably as diehard as Perps does. The Cardinal fans are the worst. You know why the Cardinal fans are the worst fan base in the? Well, they're not the worst fan base in Arizona. They're the fakest fan base in the world, because Arizona has maybe I don't know. I'm kind of guessing here, but I would venture to say 10 to 20% of the people here were born here. It's like a really low number. It might even be lower than, it might be like 10 to 15%. So there's transplants. Everybody's a transplant here. Everybody's a transplant.
Florida's like that.
Yeah, so you walk up to somebody and you go, hey, I'm from Arizona. They're like, really? I've never met someone. Like, really? I've never met someone? It's crazy. So the fan base is not rooted in Arizona, red. Whereas other places, like Green Bay, I bet Green Bay is one of the most fun fan bases to be a part of. It's got to be. I mean, they freaking own part of the team. Like, that's genius. I don't know.
Smitty, you were going to go over the wide receivers at the 2-3 turn. I don't know if it's something you want to pull up or not, but in one of the slow drafts right now, you're picking at the 2-3 turn.
Okay.
That's
funny. Perps, I didn't even.
Want to pull that up,
yeah, I can do that. Perps, I didn't even read this until right now. That's funny. Perps says East Smitty. He meant to say Easy Smitty. Easy Smitty. Them Cardinal fans aren't much better. No, the Cardinal fans are definitely not better. The Vikings fans are way more rooted in. I'm just saying, like in the fantasy draft, not the. You're missing my point, Perps. It's not that Vikings fans are bad. I'm saying that in your league, it's always that fair weather Vikings fan or fair weather. What else would it be? I guess Green Bay. It would be a Packer fan. And you see what I'm saying? Like the Packer fans are the best. I just said it'd be the best fan base to be a part of. But it's always the person in that like Miss Smitty's got a work league. I'm sure majority of them are Packers and Vikings fans. I'm not saying they're fair weather. If they're watching right now, God, I feel bad now. I'm not saying you guys know who you are. I'm not talking about you. Leave my Vikings alone. I haven't recovered. Why does everybody think I'm talking about Vikings fans? I'm not talking about Vikings fans. Thank you, Rhino, for the super chat. You would think you would understand that and be like, yeah, there are those people in our fan base that aren't as loyal as me. Perps, appreciate you. I know, Rhino. I'm just kidding with you, pal. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, yes. Okay. So let me pull up my draft real quick. Let me go back to this. Let me close this out. And you said I'm on the clock in it. Let me find my drafts active. Is it
you're on the 2-3 turn. So I just Hoosier Devo actually pointed it out, just kind of fitting because we were going to talk about the 2-3 turn and wide receivers that are available there. So
okay. All right, here we go.
If you can find it, you might have.
Yeah, I got it. I got a lot of leagues, but okay. So this is the 2-3 turn. I'm on the clock. I have Christian McCaffrey. It's a slow draft. Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, shoot, you got a $20 hauler.
Yeah, Miles. Yeah, let me hit this real quick. Miles with a $20 hauler. Superflex, best ball. Lamar, Bryce Young, O'Connell, Browning, Henry. This is one where I'd try and get like a Penix Jr. or Fields in it, but like mixed with it, then that'd be great to have that. Pollard. I don't know about the. Let's see. Henry. I'm sorry. Henry, Brooks, Spears, Pollard. Okay, I don't mind that. That's a good running back stable. Puka, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith. Okay, that's why you're loaded down at the wide receiver and tight end position. Kincaid, Musgrave. I like that team. I like that team a lot. Lamar. Yeah, if you had a Fields or a Penix Jr. in there mixed in, I think that'd be pretty awesome. That's a really good team. I like that. I'm not a huge Pollard fan, so I this year at least. But you have Spears, so that's pretty good to cuff them both. That might work out pretty well. I like that squad a lot. I'd be interested who you could have got at the Pollard pick, though. But that's a really, really, really good team. Your 3 wide receivers are off the hook. Keep in mind you only start 2. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex, and then the super flex, and then the quarterback and the tight end. But that's a really good team. $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat.
Thank you, Mills, appreciate you, Mills. What is that in your picture there? Is that a rock? I don't know what that is. Thank you, Mills. Appreciate you, pal. Okay, so I'm on the turn here. McCaffrey is my number one pick. This is not a super flex draft, guys. This is a normal 1 QB draft. And the top wide receivers available in this particular draft. Can you guys mute real quick? For some reason, I got some major background noise from somebody's phone, like the speaker phone, or it's like pretty bad.
Muted.
Okay, everybody, if you could mute real quick, let me just see if I can. The wide receivers available are Waddle, Diggs, Devontae Smith, Malik Neighbors, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Nico Collins. This is the exact question that he had, and it's just as brutal. Like, I don't like it. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I don't know that I want to force Nico Collins. I suppose I consider it Waddle or Nico, one of the two, to get a wide receiver on the books, but I don't know that I necessarily force it. If I go to RB, I got Achane, who fell, and Derrick Henry. That seems like a much more attractive option. Josh Allen, maybe in one of those guys. Part of me wants to try robust RB here. I'm going to go Achane with one of them and get that decision out of the way. And then I'm probably going to say, God, as much as I want to go Henry, I do. As much as I want to go Josh Allen, I especially with this crew, like, quarterbacks get scooped up, and I'm tempted to, but I think, I don't know. I don't know if I can force Nico here.
Even DK, his ADP is probably pretty low, right?
He's 30. He's 30. So 25. He's not that far off. 20. I mean, he's 30 overall. So I'm only reaching 5 picks.
Devonta Smith, I don't mind him. Him and DK are probably my top ones out of those wide receivers.
I don't hate Nico. I just don't love it here. This is tough. Space Beast says, thanks, Smitty and Co. I'm going back in the hole and turning. All right. Appreciate you, Space Beast. Appreciate you. Thank you again, Perps.
Yeah, Nico as your third player isn't too bad. I still don't know how that.
Part of me wants to go robust RB here.
You could. You definitely could. Definitely not a bad one. There's so many receivers that you can.
It's a $3 draft. It's not even the Best Ball Mania. I'm gonna try robust RB.
Good
McCaffrey, Achane, Henry. I mean, let's try it. I'm not a Nico guy at 24, 25. I'm just not. It was a fun risk to take.
Yeah, the $3 drafts are good for that too.
Yeah. All right, let me go around the phone line real quick. Oh, I guess it's just you and Rock out. I'm probably gonna get off here. It's near. Well, I still have time to get off here and potentially have a short night for me for a change. Hit me with the last question there, Rock out.
Let's see. Who's your favorite wide receiver 4?
Wide receiver 4?
Like who does that? Who is a wide receiver 4? Like,
I mean, I guess that would be like round 8 or beyond, right?
Yeah, probably.
You know, is that a DeMarcus Robinson, or is he even lower than that?
I mean, it'd probably be like
He's way lower than that, actually.
Yeah, Christian Watson's a little higher than that. Jameson Williams is a tad higher than that. Shakir might even be a little higher than that. I'd say 80 Mitchell is where I start at 118. So 80 Mitchell.
Rookies probably.
Yeah, 80 Mitchell. Dotson, he's going 133. Leggett, 138.
Yeah.
Pearsall, 146. Jermaine Burton. Those are probably the guys that come to mind. Corley, Malachi Corley. Luke McCaffrey. Like, I mean, you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper every name I list, but.
Yeah. What's Gabe Davis to you? Is he like a 3 or 4?
Probably a 5. I don't know. I can't trust Gabe Davis as a 3. Hell no. Hell no. All right, boys. I'm out of here. I got to get some shut-eye for a change. I'm on like 3 hours sleep today.
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
I was going back to when they were talking about Diggs. I kind of lump like Diggs. I know they're different, not different APs. Diggs, Adams, Cooper Kupp kind of into a group, maybe even Keenan Allen too. Out of those, who do you like? How would you rank those 4 this year? Forget about ADP, just as like production numbers they put up.
Diggs, Adams, Kupp.
So Diggs, Adams, Kupp, and Keenan Allen.
I'd probably say thanks again, Superfish, for that $20 hauler. The other $20 hauler, thanks again, Miles. Miles, you still here? Superfish, appreciate you both. Thanks everybody who dropped this. Perps dropping the 20 gifted memberships. Perps to the moon. Miles to the moon. Superfish to the moon. Perps to Saturn. Thank you. Okay, so we are saying Diggs, Keenan Allen,
Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp.
Adams, and Kupp. Okay, so the
aging.
ADPs are like what? Allen is like 4 to 5. Keenan Allen is going like 4 to 5 ish, right? 53 overall.
Yeah, so he's 53.
So what's that?
Adams is 19. So that would be what? 5th round, 12.
So like 5-ish. Kupp is the 4-ish range. Diggs 3-ish, and Adams 2. Okay, I know you say you didn't want to talk about ADP, but I think it's helpful for some people to just have a little bit of a conversation. Thank you, Superfish. I would say I don't love, just in general, I don't love the Adams value in the second round at all. I don't like the Diggs that much. I'd like Diggs more if he fell one more round. Don't love Allen because that's a 3 wide receiver room that I don't even really like. Caleb. Kupp is fantastic value in round 4. There's some risk, but I mean, there's still a chance he's still the same guy for as many games as he can play, and that he can't stay healthy. And there's a chance that he is a little smaller version than his old self, just because Puka's there. But I mean, at 31 years old, he was 30 last year. If everybody believes in some of these other players, like Diggs, like why can't Cooper Kupp, do it in a 4th round risk? I'm not. Yeah. So I'm going to say Kupp by a little bit. If we're not taking into account ADP, obviously cost of entry, I just wanted to put these on the board so people know I'm not drafting him above these guys. I'm drafting RBs in place of these guys and waiting till round 4 to get Kupp. I just want to make that abundantly clear.
Right.
But if you just tell me in a vacuum, how do I think they finish? I'd go Kupp. I'd go Adams, Diggs, and then Allen. Crowded. That's why these guys are down here.
Yep.
No great quarterback situation, great offense, and just injury risk. But they all have pros and cons. But give me Kupp.
Yeah. I'd switch Kupp and Adams, and I'd go Adams, Kupp, Diggs, Allen. But yeah, I was just curious what your thoughts were, just in terms of like production, because they're all aging, but their situations are all different. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go. Thanks, Vinny.
All right, later. Hey, rock out. Anything else?
Yeah, let's start another draft. Can I give you my first 3 picks?
Sure.
Hurt.
Later, Travis.
Yeah. Puka and Gibbs.
Say it again. Puka, Gibbs, and who?
Hurt, Puka, and Gibbs.
Oh, and the superflex. Hurts, Puka, yeah. Yeah, bro. Who'd you get for your core? Are you waiting? Is it a slow draft?
Hurts my first pick.
No, are you waiting though, or do you have a fourth pick yet?
I got 4 more picks.
Okay, so you're doing a slow draft. Okay, yeah, bro. You can't really start much better than Hurts, Puka, and Gibbs. I like it.
Yep. Appreciate it.
All right, hey, rock out, Mars Man, rock out. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, see you
later. All right, I am out of here, guys. One more super chat by who is this? Who's dropping fire right here? Gavin. What would you add to JSN to get Kyren or Achane? It's a loaded question. I don't know what you have. I'd certainly give up, bunch of second rounders and rookie picks. I'd give up I kind of need to know the pieces you have to mess around with. I don't really know how to answer that question. It's such a loaded question. I mean, if you had a running back like, Connor, or you had a running back like even Swift, who doesn't have a lot of long-term value to me, like those make sense as examples, but I don't know how else to answer this question without having some details. You have a lot of wide receivers, 1.8 in a 10 team. I'd give up the 1.8 in JSN for Kyren or Achane, but that's me. I know some people wouldn't. I know some people would rather have that rookie pick, but I believe in Kyren and Achane, so I'd easily give up the 1.8 and JSN. I love JSN too, though, but neither the 1.8 or JSN are as guaranteed as Achane or Kyren to me. So I would definitely give up. I give up Brian Robinson. I'd throw him in. Definitely. Guys, we're going to we're always gonna continue the conversation over on the Patreon. And the Patreon, the first 200 members get into the 242-man league, where there are 10 live. Well, first of all, on the Patreon, there's 10 live chats. It's where we go to hang out after the draft, or after the show, before the show. 365 days a year, we're sitting on the Patreon, and during games, we have I'll move this out of the way. We have a live game right here, a game day lounge where we're just during games, whether it's a Monday night game, Sunday night game, Sunday slate of games, we're just sitting in there talking to each other like, hey, what do you need? Bijan just scored, etc., etc. There's 10 live chats, 365, 24/7. And the most important thing is it's all of our community together. So it's not like you're seeing random people. You're seeing a continuation of our live chat in a live stream, and it's like family. And it's $10 a month, and that keeps it, I think, where it's positive. It's a positive environment. There's no negativity. There's no trolls. No trolls wants to pay $10 a month, and it's not just about that, but it keeps quality, and everybody there is looking for answers and help and support, and it's just an awesome place to be. 10 live chats, 365, 24/7. It's that simple. You open the app up, and you got the chat sitting right there, and at the bottom, if you look. Oh, I don't have it on the screen, but at the bottom, there'll be icons, and one you hit, and it'll go to the articles. So there's exclusive articles like this McMillan article you see right here. I'll see you all later. Let me drop that Patreon link for everybody if you want to grab this. It's really easy, and the app is super easy and friendly, and it's as simple as, like I said, there's live chats, and then there's content. There's not much more to the app, and in a good way. It's very simple. There's the link right there. If anybody wants to become a $10 Patreon, cancel anytime. It looks like we got a few people that jumped in. Appreciate every single one of you. We had a couple people earlier, Charles T and Cincy Kid, and I'll have to go through and see if anybody else just jumped in. But I appreciate you guys getting that Patreon and becoming a part of the live chat community that exists on and off the show. Appreciate you all. See you later. Here's the Kyren Williams video. I think it's only fitting to drop the Kyren video at the end of the Kyren live stream. Kyren, welcome back, pal, because he's back, and he looks glorious. He looks as spectacular as ever on the field. Oh, his poor foot, his injury. I'm so scared of Blake Corum. Did Blake Corum take his job while he was gone for a couple days?
He's Kyren. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. No problem, Devos. I was just letting you know that those messages never get seen by anybody anyway. So they're just kind of a waste of breath, you know. Whenever there's any curse words, they get automatically placed into a quarantine, and then the mods got to go through it and waste their time. You know what I mean? So they waste their time and probably reject it, you know. So I just don't want you to waste your time in your life. Life is short, bro. All right, appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Superfish. Thank you, Perps. Perps is a monster. Miles, is Miles still here? Miles, you're a beast. Appreciate your $20 hauler. Thank you, Superfish, for the first super chat of the day, as well as the $20 hauler. Rhino, appreciate you. Rhino to the moon. Morgan to the moon. Amon to the moon. Perps again to the moon and Saturn. Joseph, appreciate you. Steve Morris, thank you for your super chat. Thank you again, Gavin. I'll see you all later. Thank you to my mod, Space Ricky, and Travis, and Sick Nasty. Why? You know, sometimes I say thanks to my mods, and for some reason, you know, Blackbeard, thank you. I don't know why. There's a couple, like, when I go through Travis, Blackbeard, and then Space Ricky, I usually say Sick Nasty, I think, but there's times where I forget to say Sick Nasty's name. He knows I don't mean it. Who else am I forgetting? Space Ricky, Sick Nasty, Travis, Blackbeard. God, my brain is fried. New Patreon member, meet Gavin. Gavin to the freaking Saturn.
To Saturn.
Gavin to Saturn. Gavin just joined the Patreon. We'll see you over there, Gavin. Click on the general chat and say hello. Perp says, I mean, he is a J.J. McCarthy fan. That's true. That's probably why it slips my mind. I'm just kidding, Sick Nasty. Sick Nasty's the man. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Don't mind Perps. Perps gets a little chirpy in a good way, but definitely a bit chirpy at the end of the evening. Perps is high on life by the end of the night. He does kind of... Perps, you do become kind of a comedian of sorts at the end of nights. Perps turns into like a delirious funny. I mean, he is a Vikings fan. See you all later. Appreciate you. Deuces. Hit that like button on the way out the door.